Well, hello YouTube! Welcome to the docks of Norway. This is Salty Mechanics. I hope that you are ready to just lean back, relax, and just watch me work. Because that's how we do it here. Alright, let's go! So here I am in a sailboat and you know, the customer, he talked about a weird noise or a high-pitched noise or something coming from the engine. So let's start it up and see. So that was not as much a weird sound as it was a terrible, high, awful sound. I think it's coming from the belt. So this is the belt right here. It's connected to the alternator, which then again, whenever the engine is moving around, charge the batteries. And it looks alright, but it's a bit loose. And here you can see dust or debris, if you will. And that is coming from the belt. So this bolt is ruined on the head right here, so I want to replace it and make sure that it sits just right, because this is really the one that holds the alternator from moving back and forth, and we need this one to be tight. All right, let's start it up. So here I am at my office trying to work out how I can become my own accountant. It's not something I aspired to be. I never thought that I wanted to do this, but then not too long ago my accountant said that he is going to retire. And I was like, well, maybe this is a perfect opportunity for me to learn a little bit. So I asked him, can you please teach me what you know so that I can do this myself? And he said yes. And now I have a bunch of stuff that I wrote down from the last session I had with him, and I don't really understand anything. I've been doing a certain amount myself up through the years, but that last bit where you have to sort of finalize everything is it's a whole different ball game, I can tell you. but I'm gonna try, so I'm sitting here now doing that. But then I thought, why don't I read a little bit from my favorite book, Read This If You Want to Be YouTube Famous, instead, because you know, I always think about YouTube. So let me just read a little thing here. It says test, 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 and I thought, when I read it the first time, I thought, well, I could probably learn something, but now I'm not so sure. You can be the judge. I'm a strong believer in not assuming something's going to work, so we test everything. I'm a strong believer in not assuming something's going to work, so we test everything. All right. I tested different styles of content, and I found that people love seeing their favorite characters, animals, and food turned into cake. Cake compilations also performed incredibly well. Our most popular now has over 150 million views. I tested 10 or 15 thumbnails and found that the color yellow and cake with faces did better. I'd also test different titles, like how to make a bunny cake versus the cutest bunny cake that hopped off the table. I'm not so sure if this is my favorite book anymore. How on earth is this gonna help me?
So I just didn't know what else to do. I just had to go and buy a cake and eat it.
Det er Sondre, men han er samme kunde.
Stay clear of the customer.
So now I'm in a Polar, and to power this boat we have a Volvo Penta from the 2000 series, I think. It's about 18 horsepower. You know, nothing too complicated, but customer talked about some cooling problems, so let's check it out. So it's natural to think that you might have a starting problem as well when you hear that sound. You can't really get the engine to run, but it's quite normal on these old engines. So what I do is to just give the engine a lot of power right away, just to fuel it as much as you can. So let's try that. So that's not good. There's no water coming out with the exhaust. So the impeller looks fine, but I'm gonna try to start it up and see if it moves around, just to see if the pump works. All right. So this is really the first place water comes in through the boat, and then it goes further on to the engine. And we might have a problem with this part being clogged up by sea debris and stuff. I couldn't really see any water going through the hose here, so I think I want to take the hose off and see what happens. So you want to be a bit careful when dealing with stuff like this on water, because if this breaks, then we'll have a bunch of water just coming in here. So I need to be careful and try not to pull this too much. Yeah, this one is definitely not the problem. Plenty of water coming in, so somewhere else water stops.
So this right here is a passageway for water. Same here, and they are clogged up, so I need a new one.
Alright guys, what I'm doing here right now is to make sure that water has free passage through this engine.
So the idea is that you don't want any areas clogged up.
This mixing elbow right here is where water and exhaust mix. So you want the water to cool down the exhaust on the way out, and you have clogged up water channels, you don't want that. Also, the thermostat right here is definitely broken. It's stuck. I don't even have to test it. I can see that we need to change this one. It regulates how much water is going through the system. So that's really what this is about. Hopefully this is going to solve the problems that we have. If not, we might have a bigger problem. These old engines, they are cooled with only salt water, which means that you have salt water inside the engine at all times. Corrosion is definitely a problem, so that can clog up the whole thing. And then you basically have to throw the engine away. There's a few things you can do, but really, no. But that usually happens after 25 years or so. And I think this is an old-timer right here, so we might have that problem, but hopefully not. Cross fingers, let's go.
All right, all done. Let's start it up again. And then start.
Alright, it's getting late now. The sun is about to set, so I think I want to finish up here. This engine is definitely feeling a lot better now than what it was when it first came in here. Now it's cooling better, so I'm pretty sure it's feeling better as well. And in addition to having fixed that problem, I changed oil filter, diesel filters for the diesel system. Not just the one on the engine, but the front filter as well. You know, we have talked about that if you've been watching the series for some time. Very important to do. And the belt for the alternator, and as you saw, the mixing elbow for exhaust and thermostat for regulating the water that goes through the engine. So now this one is good to go. I think I want to take it out for a test drive. Do you want to go out, just feel the wind and see the sunset? Yeah. Let's do it. All right. All right, guys, I guess I'm done. That was it. I'm gonna drink coffee because I do that all day. And I'm gonna continue eating this cake. It's basically my lunch and dinner today. But hopefully you guys had a good time watching this episode. And I guess that's it. You wanna hang out? We don't have to end this right now. You want cake? Why? Are you shy? You can't because of the screen and that whole thing. Oh yeah, let's see. All right, more for me then.